I felt really good about it. Like I think in my time here, and my memory is not great, but I think in my time here, it may be the best opening performance we had top to bottom. That doesn't mean it was mistake free. It just means that they did a great job from an approach and a mindset. They didn't get distracted by things that could have distracted them. They were still getting their legs under them in certain spots, and there were some nerves and warm-ups that showed, but we went out there and earned a very strong opening score.
Coach, just the poise from Kaylin Chio in the all-around, just her first ever meet in the PMAC, just what did you see from her, and what did you really like about her performances?
That kid's a killer. I mean, she's got an edge to her that you don't often see. Just a really drawn down, serious competitor. I mean, obviously physically gifted, but it's really about her approach and her mindset and what she demands of herself that we see day in and day out that seems to be paying dividends. And her club coaches just did a tremendous job with her and preserving her body and keeping her in a place where she can come in and do what she did right out of the gate in college. It's just outstanding. I'm glad she's on our team, In the absence of Haley, and Kylie, and we had to have people step up, and she was one of the ones that did. There were a lot, but she was one of the ones that really, as someone who wasn't on the team last year, that really stepped in and filled a void.
Coming from last year's team, there's obviously a lot of new faces, new people on the squad. What do you think that says about the talent y'all bring to the table this year in terms of repeating and just getting back to how high that squad was ranked last year?
Yeah, I mean, I like our talent. I think our ability is every bit as good as it has been. I don't talk about repeating. I don't talk about if you hang around me long enough with the team, you'll hear me say a lot the 5 minutes in front of our face. And so that's what today was, once that banner went up, and that's when I pulled them together. So, okay, let's go. It's about the business at hand, and that's the 5 minutes in front of our face. And the next 5 minutes in front of our face will be Sunday when we come back in the gym and we start to move towards the next competition. The way we like to do things is hopefully we create a lot of mini peaks throughout the year where we will compete and we kind of break things down and look at them and take a day to hit some of those trouble spots and then try to build back up slowly during the week for another mini peak and then repeat that cycle. So that's all part of the 5 minutes in front of our face sort of philosophy that we that you hear me say, and I hear them say it a lot now too, because I think they really understand the value of not getting ahead of themselves and trying to project too far.
Only one score that you had to count below 980 and 8 scores of 990 or better. It certainly seemed, just watching, that the tighter scoring was in evidence. Did you get a sense of that? And you said a good score, obviously, overall, but did you get a sense of that? Yeah,
I mean, I think when you heard me say, I think we earned a 197.3. I think we earned every penny of it. I don't want to get critical or of anything, but I think there was definitely a little bit of a shift, and some I felt were warranted, and I'm a coach, so there's going to be times that I don't agree with what I see, but it's just it's going to be an interesting environment that way, and so one of the things that we've talked to our team about ad nauseum is we're not going to let those things. If you did a great routine, let that be it. Don't worry about what you look up on a scoreboard and see. Let's compete 24 routines and then look up and see if we won. And I have no way of predicting how this is all going to play out this year, but I do think it's probably going to be different. Good word to choose.
Last year, a big talk was just the quality of depth that you guys had. Do you feel like you guys are there with the quality of depth, and are we gonna see some switches in lineups throughout the course of the season?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's people that can go. I think Lexi Zeiss has a 1.5 vault that she was just struggling in warm-ups, but yesterday in the inter squad just planted it. So she's going to get to do more events at some point. Kylie Cohen's going to come back, and she was ready to go and probably would have been in at least beam, if not beam and floor tonight, had she not had a little hyperextension of her knee a few days back. And then, of course, at some point, we're going to start to see Haley come back too. And so there will be some movement. And, so the silver lining to not having a few is that we had to put some people in, and they did a great job, So I tell them all the time, your job is to make our decision-making process difficult. And hopefully, as we go and we get a little bit healthier, nothing we're dealing with from a health standpoint is anything that should be too long term. So we're optimistic that we're gonna be able to continue to improve and grow and keep competing for those lineup spots.
And what did you see, just the veteran presence from Aaliyah Finnegan getting some high scores and
Yeah.
all around? Just how does she kind of rally the team together with what she did?
She had a night. She had maybe, I don't know, just from a performance standpoint, I don't even know what her score was, but from a performance standpoint, that may be the best 4 for 4 I've ever seen her put together. I mean, everything was clean. Everything was good. She planted her vault. She drilled that bar set. It was one of the best beam sets you're going to see anywhere in the country all year long, and then crushed it on floor too. Like I don't know, that was pretty stout.
We saw Connor.
3.9 what? 7.2. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
We saw Connor a little bit tonight. What is her journey looking like in terms of coming back from that injury, and what are you liking from what you see so far?
Well, and she just needed to get out there again, right? I mean, and for her, just getting her legs under her and feeling good about doing gymnastics again and getting out there on 2 events. We've started vaulting with her a little bit. We're going to bring that along a little bit slower. It'll totally be determined by how she feels in terms of what pace we bring her along on the leg events. But I thought she looked great. I thought her beam set was really strong, and her bar routine was flawless minus the landing on the dismount. So really pleased with what she did tonight, and saw a little spark in her eye too. I know it felt good to come back. You have an injury like that, it can kind of take the wind out of your sails, and so it seemed like she had a little spark there in her eye again, as we finished that meet.
Haley's situation is still indefinite.
Yeah, I mean, if I had something, other than what I know, I mean, she feels good, and we've stepped up the activity a little bit in terms of her rehab process, and she's doing more with the arm and testing it, and so far so good. There's been no negative response from anything. So, I'm optimistic that it'll be sooner than later, but again, I'm not in charge of that, and we just have to let it play out. She's chomping at the bit. Haley Bryant wants to compete, and so with her, you don't have to worry about that. We've just got to be judicious in our process and make sure that we don't go too fast, because a UCL, in an elbow, you just don't want to take a chance with that. So as soon as I know, I'll tell y'all. I mean, because everybody on this team will be happy to see her come back out.
You also said you might get surprised.
Yeah. I just don't. I won't know until the docs haven't looked at her. They'll probably look at her again early this week, and hopefully we're just repeating that pattern week to week. So that's why I keep saying it's week to week, because I keep waiting for updates myself, and I just I just don't have a lot of detail to offer y'all.
So in the likelihood, like whenever you do get her back, are we going to see the continuous, multiple all-arounders, or are we going to try to bring her back slowly?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the way we make decisions as a staff is very corporately together, and we'll do that week to week. There's a lot of reasons that lineups look the way they do, not just based on who's available and healthy. It's health is one thing, rest is another. Who needs an opportunity? Who needs to? We see what we get, especially if they're new and we haven't seen them perform, and we want to give them an opportunity to kind of get out there. So hopefully we can create some scenarios where we have some flexibility and can move some things around. The idea for having depth on a team is that you don't want to ride the same horse over and over and over again until April. You'd like to be able to be fresh-legged, and I think sometimes the most rested, fresh-legged teams in April do a better job. And so, that's the goal. If the more bodies we have moving, the more options we have, and then we try to be strategic about how we go about it.